Okay, it's official. We have begun. Welcome, 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 some of my very, very dear friends and some new friends that I'm really excited to get to know. My name is Whitney Ward, and I'm just going to, you guys are being well behaved. I just realized I probably should mute everyone just so it's nice and clear. We usually have lots of background noise with people unmuted, but you can go ahead and unmute yourself if you choose to, if you have any feedback. And I want to also point out there's a little chat option. If you're on a computer or laptop, you'll see a little menu towards the bottom, and that chat, if you click on the bubble, you can type questions or comments in there. I'll try to keep my eye on that and make sure before we close it out, which I'm going to be strict. We're going to make a commitment to each other. This is strictly a 30-minute book club discussion every week, okay? We're going to cut it off at 30 minutes no matter how exciting our conversation is. It's important that we be respectful of that 30-minute marker, and so everyone can we can plan exactly and not go over and interfere with other parts of people's busy lives. So, girl, wash your face. Who's got their book yet? I know not everyone has it yet. Raise your hand if you do. Who's doing Audible? Raise your hand. All right. And who's read the preface already? Okay. All right. So I see some that haven't. So I'm excited. That's what we're going to be covering tonight, just a little bit about what this book's about, and then we're going to open it up for discussion. Now, let's do a little bit of housekeeping first. I'm going to tell you exactly kind of how this is going to look each week, and what is expected of you or may be asked of you. You're not going to be asked to do anything that you're not willing to do. If you're not willing to do it, you can pass, okay? But first of all, so I've done some book club discussions on Zoom before, and this is what we've discovered that works really well, okay? So each week we are going to pick a different discussion leader, okay? You may be asked to be a discussion leader one chapter. Maybe you won't. We've got a lot of people in the club so far, and it's natural. We're going to see people drop out as the weeks go on, and that's okay. I want to encourage you to not drop out. You're worth it, okay? That's what we're here for. This is self-development, and you've got to show up if you're going to grow up, right? Can I get a thumbs up on that? Okay, so we are committed. We're here. We're worth it. We're going to stick with this, right? But we will naturally see people drop out. So, and that's okay. But you may be asked to lead one of the discussions. What is that going to look like if you're asked to lead a discussion? This is what I'm going to ask, okay? We have, well, let me talk about the group managers after, but the discussion should look just like this. No more than 5 minutes. If you're asked to present, you're going to take 5 minutes and highlight your favorite takeaways from that chapter. Are you going to read the chapter? Heck no. Are you going to summarize the chapter in 20 minutes? No. You're going to take 5 minutes max. Set an alarm on your phone if you get chatty, and you're going to highlight your favorite takeaways from that chapter. That's it. Then you're going to have written down meaningful questions to ask the group to start meaningful conversation. That's where this is most valuable, okay? Group discussion. Now, of course, you can sit back and quietly listen and observe and soak it all in. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you can get a lot out of that. But I want to encourage you to share your thoughts and feelings and takeaways. And you may share something that hits someone in the heart or helps them see a perspective that they didn't see just reading the chapter alone, or something that really resonates with them. And that's really, really neat to be able to share our different perspectives and things like that. It's very valuable, okay? So that's kind of what it looks like. And then a couple minutes before the 30-minute time slot is over, you cut it off no matter if we have to cut someone off in mid-sentence, I'm so sorry, that's a great thought, but it's time to go. And then one of our group leaders, whoever's leading that week, will close us out. So I want to introduce you to Amy Harbrink. She's there with the cute little splash of blue in the corner of her hair. She's so sassy and fun and stylish. We love Amy. She is an incredible, I asked her specifically because I love her takeaways on different books that we've discussed in the past. And then Hannah Charity, I may be saying your name wrong, Hannah. I'm sorry. It's good? Okay. Hannah, you see the cute girl there with the cute little baby face and the glasses? She's adorable. That's Hannah. Hannah is an avid reader, and she also has very, very awesome leadership skills in book clubs in the past, okay? Now, I'm not saying that you guys don't. A lot of you I've never met before, and I'm sure you have great, great takeaways to share and things like that. I'm not seeing our other leader, Lori. Are you here, Lori? Can you unmute yourself if you're here, because I don't see you. Lori Korberger is our other group leader, okay? So anyways, lots of discussion is what we love, and it is going to be 5 minutes of highlight the favorite takeaways from one person, and then they're going to ask meaningful questions. If you would like to run a chapter, then feel free to volunteer. Maybe we'll start with volunteers first and then ask if we need to. Okay, now I want to give everyone the chance. I wish we could take the time to do introductions, but that's going to take more than 30 minutes right there, right? So can we all just, I'm going to put us on a screen, actually change my screen view here. Look at that. I can see all of us all at once. If you can't, you can go look at the speaker view up in your top right corner and change that to where you can see everyone all at once. I like this better. I feel like we're all in one room together now, so that's really fun. So let's just everyone wave and give us your best smile. And we're all friends now. We may not have all met yet, but we're gonna get to know each other, and this is gonna be so fun and so great, okay? So, does anyone have any questions? If you do, drop them in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and start with the preface of this incredible book, Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, okay? So, this book, I've only gotten to chapter 3, but I'm already obsessed with this book. It is different than any book I've read in the past. Like, I've done a lot of self-development books, but I love how she's like your BFF, but in your face at the same time, like kind of making you feel a little bit of that, oh, she's right. You know what I mean? Like she gets in your face, but she makes it funny and makes you laugh. And she speaks truths in a way that you are willing to hear them and accept them, right? So I love that. All right, so I went through and highlighted just a little bit. I do have quite a few questions here that I want to ask, so I'm just going to pick a few things that I highlighted. And so first of all, this is a great introduction right here. Like, she had you laughing already in the introduction or the preface, whatever you want to call it. She gets you giggling a little bit, and then she gets real serious. So this book is about a bunch of hurtful lies and one important truth. The truth, you and only you are ultimately responsible for who you become and how happy you are. That's kind of what this whole book's about. We all tell ourselves lies constantly. You're not a good mother. You're never going to be organized. She's always going to be skinnier than you. You will never be able to compete with her at this or that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, we're always looking at someone that we think is bigger and better and faster and prettier and smarter and whatever. We tell ourselves those things without even realizing that we do. Be honest with us all and raise your hand if you tell yourself hurtful lies about you, right? I don't think there's probably anyone on the planet that doesn't to some degree or another. Some of us are way meaner to ourselves than others, and that is a fact. I hope that you're blessed with someone that speaks truths to you, that sees more in you than you see in yourself, that helps you feel valued and loved, because we tend to be so rude to ourselves, we probably wouldn't be our own friend if we talk to other people the way we talk to ourselves. Is that the truth? Yes. Okay. So just a couple other things that she points out that I love. She's going to help us destroy every lie that we've ever told ourselves. And I love that she emphasizes that it's impossible to get somewhere new or become something new without first acknowledging where you are. And the fact of where we are is that our self-awareness right now is not even probably a portion of what we really have the potential to be, because of the mean things we say to ourselves and the lies that we believe about ourselves. Even maybe we don't even speak them to ourselves, but maybe we've had other influences in our life that have spoken hurtful things over us, or experiences that make us believe things about ourselves that aren't necessarily true, like life circumstances. You know, some people may have affected you in that way. And the truth is, I love how she shares her, I mean, she's a Christian woman, and she shares that her view and belief is that it all boils down to it's the devil himself that plants these lies, whether it's through another person, whether it's a belief that we've established ourselves, whether it's life experiences, but whatever it is, they all come from him and they're not true. And we're gonna recognize that and acknowledge it and move on and learn to speak truths over ourselves. And in that process, we're going to get better and better every day, more confident every day. We're going to start feeling good about ourselves and seeing the truth more and more. And it's going to be hard and it's going to be painful maybe, but we're in it together, right? Okay, show me a hand if you guys are in here, not just for yourself, but as a group. We're going to show love and support, and we are all going to leave this group better and more confident and closer to the potential person that we were created to be than we are today, right? Who loves that idea? Okay. So I'm just going to jump right into my questions, I think, because that'll kind of help us cover a lot of the other stuff that I really liked in here. So let's see, we got about 15 minutes of questions here. So what hurtful lies do you tell yourself? Does anyone want to be super brave and vulnerable and share a lie that has been hurtful, that either someone else has spoken over you, that you've believed for a long time, or that you find yourself repeating to yourself? We all have them, right? And there's no shame in that. I think as human beings, that's something that we tend to be. Venetia, you want to share something?
Okay, so vulnerable moment. I'm not a good leader. So I don't think so.
I know you well enough that I know that's a lie.
But it plays in my head sometimes, so I have to push it out, and this book helps a lot. Okay.
I'm glad. We're going to work on that, because I see differently in you. And I can say that because I know you very well. You're one of my best friends. And that makes me sad that you believe that, because I don't see that in you. So, okay, Alice said, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Can one of our group leaders troubleshoot with Michelle? She says she can't hear anything. Or someone that's tech savvy with Zoom, can you guys respond to her privately and help her figure that out? Could be as simple as turning up the volume on your device. I've done that before. Okay, so someone help her out. Okay, now to everyone, do you honestly believe that you are ultimately responsible for your own happiness, despite your own your life circumstances or situations beyond your control. Do you believe that anyone can be put in, and like some of us are born with extreme trials more than others, right? That is just a matter of fact. But I think we can all look past and look back in history and see people that have been born into the most dire circumstances that come out on top, that come out a winner, a perseverer, someone that inspires others, someone that chooses happiness no matter what, and finds a way to make the best of their situation despite those circumstances. Any thoughts on that? I don't want to be the only one talking, guys. Come on, don't be shy. Someone's getting doggy kisses. Candace, how cute. Okay.
I'll say so. My mom was one of those people that was always glass half full. It was full, even if it was a drop left, it was full. And I was always it's empty. And I'm trying to get more on that, look on the positive side. Don't beat myself up when it doesn't go the way I think it should go. And I read this book I got it Saturday night, and I read 6 chapters in an hour Saturday night, and I finished it yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I've never finished one of these kind of books, ever. I get halfway through and go, okay, that's boring, back to my novels. This, I'm gonna go back through and actually like take the time to highlight, and I don't write in books either, and this is gonna be one I write in. But I've always envied those people that like you described, and I'm trying to be more like that.
Well, this is the book, right?
Oh yeah.
This is the one. I'm so excited to hear that. And I am so blessed. I had the pleasure of meeting Kathy's mom a couple times, and she was just one of those bubbly spirits that just like fills the room with joy. And so you had a great example to follow, Kathy.
I just have to put it in me now.
Yeah.
I don't have her to fall back on anymore. I can't say, oh, well, my mom will be the happy, joyful one. I can be over here and be negative Nelly. I have to be the one now.
And do it for her. How proud is she going to be?
Yep.
Right? That's awesome. That's so powerful. Okay. If considering that we're going to accept new truths about ourselves, how are those not going to be believable if deep down, subconsciously, we have lies that are contradicting those truths? So no matter how many amazing, powerful truths we learn and we accept about ourselves, let's think about how important that is, that we first uproot. It's like weeding a garden, right? Before you plant a garden, you got to pull out the weeds. Duplex people are very familiar with that term for many reasons, but we've got to pull out the weeds. We've got to get the gunk out before we can plant in the good stuff. And it's the same with this. Our minds and our subconscious and our souls and our spirits are the same way. Like we've got to uproot that nasty gunk and those weeds before we can plant the beauty. Otherwise, it's not really going to be effective. Stacy?
Oh, I was just going to say the part of the introduction that really hit home with me is we rarely hear the lies we've created about ourselves because they've been playing so loudly in our ears for so long that they've become white noise.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's so true. Like, I don't even know that I'm doing that to myself because it's just happening.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for sharing that. I did, that part was really made an impact on me too. And I'm glad, Michelle, you can hear now. Yay. Okay. So let's see what time we got. What lifestyle images are you exposed to that create a false sense of what you should desire to be? Like, think about that for a minute. Let's talk about
that. Media in general on body image.
Body images.
And even, I'll be honest, even some, like looking at some people's before and afters, just like with plexus, I'm like, why can't that be me? Why can't I drop a pant size in a month? I've been doing this hunger control for 2 months and I've barely lost anything. You get that in your head of, I'm not good enough because I haven't achieved. And it's because it's everywhere. It's TV, it's social media, it's, that image of what we think from the time we were little girls being told what we need to look like. And
right,
it's not realistic.
What's the first thing we are handed when we're little girls? Usually, like Barbie dolls,
Barbie
right?
and Disney princess.
And what do their figures look like? And that's who we all aspire to be. So it just makes sense. Like it's thrown in our faces from the time that we're little girls. Women especially. Oh my goodness. Like it's so loud in our ears all the time that we're never going to be that perfect size 2 or that perfect size 6 or whatever. You know what I mean? And that constantly plays over and over and over again. What other things?
I think in just like Venetia was talking about that I'm not a good leader, I think even in relation to leadership, we get exposed to people that we admire, their leadership traits, and because we're not like them, we're not enough or we're not good leaders. Whereas our style of leadership and the things we can accomplish through that may just be completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that same comparative value can be even in good things.
Yeah.
If we look at ourselves negatively because we're not like someone else and maybe the abilities or the skills or whatever that they have, it doesn't mean we don't have them. It just mean that they're different and they just need to be nurtured.
Yeah. And imagine like if God made us all have the same talents and the same abilities, like we would be so limited in the progress we could make as a group, as a whole. I love that you pointed that out, Amy, because the fact is like in comparison, that leader that you're looking up to and aspiring to be like, they may look at some of the things that they see in you and say, oh my gosh, I wish I was more like Amy. Like I struggle so much in that area and she seems to just thrive with that. You know what I mean? Like everyone was given their own strengths for a reason. So we can work together and be a team and complement each other and accomplish more as a whole. So that's really powerful. Okay. Do you ever see yourself being able to be exposed to all of these loud messages of what we should aspire to be on Pinterest, on social media, on TV, on movies, on like all over in your face, billboards and all that? Do you believe that you could ever get to the point where you can be exposed to that consistently and just be absolutely in love with who you are?
I think we can get to that point, but I think it is difficult because with social media in general, we like to share the best things about our lives. So you're going to see these perfect moments with people and their children, or these perfect decorated rooms that someone does who really loves interior decorating. They're not going to share the mess that they had before that, or they're not going to share a picture of their toddler having a tantrum in Target. So it does take time for us to feel okay with who we are, because what people put on social media gives us this false sense of perfection.
That's so true. But also it could be helpful when if we were to remind ourselves of that consistently, like, oh, that's the highlight of her day, thank goodness she had that moment where everything just happened to be perfect or whatever. And we remind ourselves that that's not real life, but that is the best of what she has to share or whatever. You know what I mean? And your best of something else may be better than what she has, and something that she would look at and be all green-eyed and jealous about. You know what I'm saying? So I think we can remind ourselves that that's not real life. And maybe that will be helpful too, as we're just becoming okay with who we really are. Okay, this was my favorite question, and I want lots of discussion on this one. So what are the things that you need to stop right now? So I'm going to read this to you. Rachel says, I want to shout at the top of my lungs until you know this one great truth. You are in control of your own life. You get one and only one chance to live, and life is passing by. Stop beating yourself up. And dang it, stop letting others do it too. Stop accepting less than you deserve. Stop buying things you can't afford to impress people you don't even really like. Stop eating your feelings instead of working through them. Stop buying your kids love with food or toys or friendship because it's easier than parenting. Ouch, right? Stop abusing your body and mind. Stop. Just get off the never-ending track. Your life is supposed to be a journey from one unique place to another. It's not supposed to be a merry-go-round that brings you back to the same spot over and over again. So what are some things that you choose to stop right now? Even if you aren't voluntarily going to say it out loud to the group, I want you to pick 2 things that you're going to choose to stop. Maybe you're allowing someone else to beat yourself up or to beat you up emotionally. Maybe you're buying things you can't afford to impress people that aren't even in your circle of friends, or that you don't really genuinely care about you for the right reasons. Are you buying your kids or grandkids love? Are you abusing your body and your mind? Are you eating your feelings instead of working through them? Those are some pretty tough things that are going to take some change to learn to do differently. But how much of a difference is that going to make in who we become in the end? Okay, so I want everyone, raise your hand if you have picked 1 or 2 things that you're going to choose to stop. All right, if you haven't, I encourage you to spend some time with that. And to finish it off, I just wanted to read the last thing that she wrote here in the introduction. Well, I wish I could have covered more of this, but she really emphasized that us just getting to the point where we're okay with who we are, that's not really the point of this book either. Because if we're just like, God created me just the way I am, and you learn to just be happy with who you are, and you're not growing your talents that he gave you and really stretching yourself to become the best version of yourself, then that's not what we're trying to do here. So let's just keep that in mind, that, a caterpillar was created the way it was, but if it doesn't, choose to blossom and become a butterfly, then it's not living up to its full potential and blessing others by becoming its best self either. So it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of practice, but it's going to be so worth it. And she closes out by saying, rest in the knowledge that you can become whomever and whatever you want to be, my sweet friend. And on the days that seem the hardest, you'll remember that by an inch or a mile, forward momentum is the only requirement. So every day we get back up, we try again, and we just try to be a little better than we were yesterday. And that's something that we can all attain, right? That's not too hard. We do our best and we all grow together. So, okay, that's all I got for you. Do we have any volunteer? Oh, actually, I take that back. We're going to have our group leaders run the first couple chapters. And then from there, we'll maybe ask for volunteers or voluntold people if we need to. So same time next week. We will see you back here. Thanks for joining in. This has been recorded. We'll post the recording on the Messenger thread. And so thanks for joining in, you guys. I'm excited to become friends and really help each of us develop to our true potential together. So thanks for joining in. Good night, everyone.
Night.